This couldn't happen again. This is that one. This couldn't happen again. This is that one. This couldn't happen again. This is that one.
Very hot tea. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. Shout out to the free trading movement. And it's my first stream being 21. Isn't that crazy? What's up, everyone? It's a pretty dry market. We've been going sideways for I don't even know how long, but two stocks we have talked a lot about in the past did report earnings today. So we'll talk about those. CLOV and Fisker. Fisker reported earlier in the day and saw a pretty rough open, but had a decent bounce back. And then CLOV had a good day. Earnings came out, it initially went up 10%, and then it gave a lot, I think actually like all of that back a little bit later on. So I'm going to talk about what happened in those earnings. I already got them ready to go, so we'll get to that in a little bit. As you can see right over here, I've got them pulled up, so we'll talk about them and I'll read them. So yeah, what's up, Mr. Robinson, Danny, Chetta, nice to see you in here, and AK. Let's get started with Bitcoin. We're going to do crypto, other markets, the stock market, then we'll get to individual names. Honestly, this market right now is more of an individual name type of market. It's like a stock pickers market. That's probably a better way to put it. There are names doing a lot of interesting things. If you look at my Twitter from yesterday, I did share a bunch of charts. We're going to look at a lot of them tonight. But there are the names that you can find, all right? So let's get started with crypto. Chetta in the chat saying, what's good, you lovely peeps. Can't stay but wanted to jump in to say hola. Gotta get these plants in the dirt. Good luck with that. It's weird that it's summer. Cheers all. Where I'm at right now in Connecticut, the weather was horrible until literally May 6th, which was my birthday. And I don't know why, but my birthday like marked summer for some reason this year. And the last few days have been really nice. And also, if you can't tell, background is different. Kind of moving right now, so we'll talk about that in a later stream. All right, let's get started. Bitcoin in a bullish pennant on the daily. It's a pretty large pattern. You're actually respecting the demand line. fairly well. It's your third bounce off of it. So just waiting to see which way this breaks out. It has a high probability to break to the upside overall just because it's in a bull trend, at least midterm. However, you're definitely closer to the bottom of that pattern rather than the top. So we will see which way that breaks. Ethereum, I don't see much of any pattern here. I guess you do have a little bit of support. I mean, it used to be resistance, but now it's flipping into support around 1800. So I guess that's just level you want to hold for right now. And then instead of making lower highs, you're probably going to want to reverse that into higher highs. All right, for other markets, US 10-year continuing to bounce off of this. Again, I do view this as a longer term bull flag, which could not be great for the market. But that's okay. We have also got metals, gold, doing really well. That bull flag and hidden bullish divergence is playing out beautifully. I've seen a lot of people talking about gold over the past couple of weeks on Twitter. Same thing for silver, you've got that bull flag playing out. Then the dollar currency index continuing to look the same. It's just been going sideways, just like the market for weeks now. So nothing really different there. I'm just making sure everything's good because the Wi-Fi was weird earlier. One thing I do want to look at, we'll look at crude oil first, which I don't know, it kind of made equal lows around 64, put in a bullish pin bar candle off that low, and now it's bouncing back out of this down sloping channel. That is interesting. But I do want to look at KRE, which is the S&P Regional Banking ETF. Of course, we've seen a lot of these regional banks fail over the past couple of months, and I just want to talk about this one really quickly. Let's zoom out over here. There are two very important levels on this chart, 41.28 and 65.36. All right, 41.28 obviously you're much closer to. That's the shorter term level that is very important. You can see it was acting as support over here, then you broke it, and then on May 2nd flipped it into resistance. So as of right now, that is a big level for regional banks. If we really zoom out, remember that 41.28 level, you can see it was resistance here, resistance here, resistance all throughout over here. So that's a very important level. In shorter term, you're getting signs of a potential dead cat bounce to start soon. You had major volume on this bullish pin bar candle at the bottom, potential classic bullish divergence on both oscillators. So this could be a dead cat bounce to maybe at least go back up and test that level at some point, and that's your make or break area. So I just want to talk about that really quickly. Now let's head over to the stock market, which was a slightly red day for the market and for myself today. Actually, I personally, well, I took two trades. I took Fisker calls at the open, which was like a 50% win for me, which was nice, although it was a lot of size position. And then I also, let me turn off extended hours. Right now I'm actually viewing the Qs on the 5-minute as an inverted cup and handle, but what I did take this morning, unfortunately, and I was in profit. I just didn't take profits because I thought it would have some more left in it, but it happens. So I'm just looking for the price action from today. Today was Tuesday, okay. So all this price action was from today. Yeah, so I was entering calls over here this morning at these lows pretty much. So I actually was in profit around over here. I just didn't take the profits. And I ended up stopping out like somewhere over here, and it just kind of went sideways throughout the rest of the day. And obviously, even if I would have held it, probably still wouldn't have made much because theta was definitely just crushing the contracts all throughout these ups and downs. So it is what it is. It wasn't a huge loss, but the reason I was in calls there is you see these two lows, right? These were the lows I was adding calls on, and I was up on both of these highs. It used to be resistance over here and support from over here. So I was looking at that level, and then I stopped out simply when you broke under it, and then you just kind of tested the whole entire day. But what it looks like you're developing heading into tomorrow, unless we do have some crazy gap, is an inverted cup and handle. The very clear level is right around 321. If that cracks on the Qs, could set up some more quick and easy downside. So that is something I'm watching. Let's go up to higher time frames right now on the Qs. And I will say it looks better than the SPY right now. You do have the chance for this rising wedge to play out. But I think the big thing here, if we just delete all this for 1 second, is that you're above that level. That's a very important level. You see these major lows over here. Even this shorter term resistance around 321, which was level I was just talking about on low time frames, it's the same level I'm talking about on the daily, very big level for the Qs, you're above it. So the past couple of days, despite the overall sideways market, you have closed higher and higher above this zone. You're not fully out of it, but it's a start. And if we were to just look at this as like a shorter term pattern, it would probably just be a megaphone pattern like that. So now I'm going to put the rest of the other stuff I had back onto my chart, and those are my levels for the Qs. Moving over into the SPY, I'm upset with this chart. I don't ever care if a chart is going down or up, but when it's going sideways, yes, you can profit off of it with options, but just as a swing trader, even though there are some swing traders out there that are doing very well, it makes, what I like to do a lot of the time is I like to tie market sentiment with my swings, right? I prefer to swing when I see bullish variables on the SPY, the Qs, the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000. It makes it a little bit tougher to get into new swings when we're just showing no variables, because tomorrow we could flip to super bearish, or we could just break this range. It only takes a couple of percent of a move, which in this, at least in the past few years of a volatile market, is not much. So it just increases the risk, in my opinion, of at any moment, even if you're on a long side or on a short side, the overall sentiment can just flip, because there is no set in stone sentiment, and there has been no set in stone sentiment for over a month now, since the start of April. We had a bullish sentiment going into April, and then for the last month, the market just has not shown either the bulls or the bears. Neither of them have been able to take control. So, you know, at this point, it's really, you've got these lows on the SPY, and then you've got this high on the SPY. In between those two levels, it is a coin flip in terms of purely technicals. There's nothing to talk about there. It's just waiting until it breaks one of those levels. And, you know, you would think it shouldn't be that hard. It's only a 2% move in either direction to break those levels. But we haven't gotten that move in over a month. This is the slowest moving S&P 500 we have seen in a very, very long time. Even these periods over here, they did not last as long as this. So this is a long distribution. I had to sneeze. So that's really it. I mean, on the daily, there just is not anything to talk about. All right. If we go over to the 4 hour, I've still kind of got this rising wedge. So that is something you can still keep an eye on. But I mean, it could also be redrawn to this. So it's not even like it's testing a breakdown for right now. It's not too far from a bearish butterfly, I will say that. And you kind of, I mean, especially if we're gonna we could look at it like this, right? Let me delete all this for 1 second. This is like the only other look I could get on the 4 hour chart. This is really all I've got here on the 4 hour, okay? So there's a simple way and a more complex way to view this. Simple way, you've got a bearish butterfly with your type 1 and type 2 move in, and now you're waiting on like the actual leg down. On top of that, even if we take this away for a second, we can just put another curved line right over here, and there you can see your head and shoulders set up right around over there. So I would say, yes, it still is overall just a range for the SPY, but at least on a 4 hour time frame, unless you can break above like 417.5, which is your highs from this month, and then also from February, pretty much, yeah, literally your highs of the year. Let me actually set up an alert there. Let's just do like 417.6. Unless you can break above those highs, I guess the sentiment is more bearish than bullish, but on the daily it just looks neutral. So that is really it. Whoever's putting party emojis in the chat, shout out to you. And if we go to even lower time frames, like the 1 hour chart, I don't know. If you start to dip down more, maybe even come down to fill this gap, you could have like a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We'll see. All right, I'm going to get away from this boring chart for now. Maybe let's take a look at the ARK ETF, which is actually doing what I hoped for on a stream. I don't even remember when. The streams have been so random. The next few weeks, the stream should be like almost daily. All right, I think I'm gonna do, I know today was 8. because I have to set up everything. But I think 6 o'clock Eastern time daily is going to be pretty set in stone, like Monday to Thursday, maybe even some Sundays over the next few weeks. So mark that down in your schedule. But look, GOAT stocks, mid caps, we're in earnings season. A lot of them are actually beating and doing well, and that's lifting up names like the ARK ETF, which is something I was talking about. I was saying the SPY and the Qs had a really good start to the year in many different ways.